Today, we've just had some really interesting reporting out of the Eastern District of Virginia, which is this sleeper story, which I think is a huge deal. A whole bunch of important news has broken today. We're going to be talking about all of those stories tonight. But I have to tell you, CNN has started to report in the last few minutes, citing two sources familiar with the matter. CNN is now reporting that the Robert Mueller special counsel investigation has produced its first criminal charges. Now, I would elaborate further right now on what CNN is reporting on this matter tonight, but that really is all they're reporting. This is not confirmed by NBC News. This is not confirmed by any other news organization at this point. So this is just CNN's work. They're saying that a federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. today approved the first charges in the investigation that's being led by the special counsel by Mueller. Now, we don't know what the charges are. The charges are reportedly sealed under orders from a federal judge. Let's find out what that means in just a moment. We also don't know who the charges are against, if they're against one person or multiple people, or who those people are, if there are in fact charges against them. Now, we also don't have any reason to believe that anybody who might be charged, if this report is accurate, we don't have any reason to believe that any of those people have been notified of the fact that they have been charged, if in fact these charges are still under seal. So the headline is very provocative. We know very little detail beyond that. I mean, other than the fact that prosecutors associated with the Mueller investigation were seen entering the room where the grand jury meets in D.C., in the federal courthouse today in D.C., other than the attorneys being spotted in that room, which has happened before, we really have no corroborating information about whether or not this is true. So obviously this is a very provocative prospect. We're keeping an eye closely on that for additional reporting. Obviously lots of news organizations are scrambling to do their own corroboration, their own approach to this story. I'll tell you, as somebody who has covered the Russia story and the Russia investigation probably more extensively than anybody else in cable news, I'll just tell you that there have been lots and lots of rumors that this was about to happen. And there have been lots of sort of credible single-source reports, unconfirmed single-source reports, that charges, in fact, were imminent from Mueller's investigators. But, you know, you follow all that stuff, you try to track all these things down, but until you've got multiple credible sources, it's not reportable. CNN says it's reportable. At this point, nobody else does. If they're right, this is the first reported multiple-sourced account that these charges may happen. Now, on this story, as in every story, there's no reason to speculate further, especially with no further details to speculate on. But based on what they've reported so far, how should we understand the significance of this if this story is proven out? Joining us now is Barbara McQuaid. She's a former U.S. attorney. Ms. McQuaid, thank you very much for being here with us tonight. I have a lot of other things to talk to you about tonight as well, but I'm really glad you were here for this.
Oh, you bet. Happy to talk about all of it.
All right, so we don't know, again, NBC News has not confirmed the CNN reporting, but let me just ask you about some of the terms that they're describing. Just as a law enforcement professional, as a former federal prosecutor, tell us what this means. A federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. approved the first charges in the investigation being led by Mueller. Tell us about the work of a grand jury and what it means to say that a grand jury has approved charges.